done your sketches, you've done your comp, now you're ready to get going. The first thing is file setup. So if we look again at the curriculum site, we are under obviously freshman year. We are in weeks 3 and 4 right now, where we technically would be if we were actually in the building. So this is your illustrated poster, your Iron Giant. This will have everything that you're going to need. Going over your assignment specs and what should be on the poster. And we'll go over that more in depth in a second. But let's talk about setting up your file. So I told you already, it's 11 by 17 or 17 by 11. So I'll just do 11 by 17. So you're going to hit Create New. Your window pops up. You want to make sure this is set for inches. You put your 11 in, you put your 17 in, and you hit Create. All right. Now, you need 1/4 inch margin. If you go back to, while this is loading, you go back to your page, you're going to see that it's 1/4 inch margins, 0.25 in your setup. We're not doing a bleed in this, okay? Everything's going to stay on the edge of the paper, so we need a margin. You can either go to View, and you can go to your rulers and hit Show Rulers, or you can just hit Command R, okay? By default, they're not there. I don't know why. So, easiest thing to do here is to cheat. Just zoom in a little bit, all right? You'll see your 1/4 after you see your half. So here is a 1/4, or 0.25, a half, 0.5, 3/4, which is 0.75, and 1. So we want to go drag this all the way over to a 1/4 inch. Okay, we drag a guide by clicking over here and dragging over, and clicking over here and dragging down. So it's a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch. So you'll know this is right because this is a square. All right, and if I slide over to the other side, you'll see your square as well. Okay, and here we go. Here I'm going to come over to 3/4. Okay, because that's a 1/4 inch away from the end of this one. All right, there's my corners. So same thing down at the bottom. All right, and we'll take this. Again, I'm zooming in so I can cheat a little bit because why not? I'm going to drag this. Here's 17, and here's your 3/4. Okay, there's my square. Once I do that, I've got my margins. So at this point, you can go to File, and you can save. All right to your desktop. All right, put my name in my file. All right, we click through, we click OK, we're good to go. All right, that means that every single piece of artwork, piece of text, and everything you do has got to stay in that margin. So if I do a black background, there's my black background, and I'm always going to have this white edge around the paper, and that's fine. That's how we're designing it for this, okay? Other things to think about with your file setup, make sure that you get rid of your swatches. The only colors that you want here are going to be the colors that you use. So you can click right on red, scoot all the way down, hold the Shift key, click again, and delete, okay? And yes, I'm going to delete my swatches. To make a new swatch, you're going to click and drag, all right? If you have trouble that doesn't work always the first time, if you just click and then click and drag, I find that it works, okay? So every color that you use, whether it's a color that you grab using the color picker, whether it's a color that you create. Notice it didn't just work there. So I click, then click again, then it'll drag it over. All right, so only the colors that you use should be in your swatches. So you can have that kind of setup. That's initial file setup. If you plan on bringing an image in to trace it or to use it, remember that you want to make an additional layer. You click on your layers panel. Okay, if you don't see it there, you go to window and layers. All right, click the add new layer, and your top layer is going to be the layer you're drawing on, and the bottom layer would be your original piece. Okay, the original thing that you're gonna duplicate and try to trace over. All right, or use as a reference more than anything else. All right, so that's kind of your initial file setup. As far as what you're going to use for this, all right, in the curriculum site, let me get into the regular view here. If you scroll down towards the bottom, there's some files that you're going to need, all right? And click open the drive. Always click open the drive. It's going to be easier. You've got Steel Tongs font, which is TTF. Okay, that's a font file. And I've got the Iron Giant copy. I've already downloaded the font and installed it, so you just download it onto your desktop. All right, I'll do it to show you. And I'm going to download the Iron Giant copy. The Iron Giant copy is basically going to explain to you everything that you need. It's also listed right in the curriculum site, okay, right here. What should be on the poster, all right? And you'll see it'll make more sense if you look at the Iron Giant file. So as I minimize this stuff to get to my file, so here's your font. So in Windows, you right-click and hit Install. On Mac, you're going to double-click and hit Install the font. I've already done it. No need to do it. And I'll show you what that's going to be for. Here's my Iron Giant copy file. So I'm going to open this up. And I had trouble. Here we go. So you need the Warner Brothers logo on here. You can choose one. These are vector files, so you can change the colors to whatever you need, or white, or however you want to do it. You're going to need a coming to theater near you. You're going to need that text. You're gonna need the text that says a Brad Bird film. That's the producer. You're gonna need a rating logo. I've given you that right here. Okay. Again, vector based, so you can change the colors of it. The hashtag, The Iron Giant. The movie name, The Iron Giant. And then their credits. And this is for reference. This is not to take and copy it and paste it over here. Okay. That is not what we're talking about. When you look at the examples of the movie posters, you're going to notice that at the bottom, they all have the this one. They all have their content here. Okay, this is the only content I'm requiring that needs to be on the poster. All right, is these credits here, and you can fake them. You can put your friends' names in them. It doesn't matter, but that's the content you're gonna need. So, how do you do it? Well, I gave it to you basically. So I got Steel Tongs as the font, and what's really cool about this font is that if I choose it, so I'm gonna choose it right now. You'll notice that all of a sudden those letters turn into just like the labels. So here's how this works. When I have the caps lock off and I hit A, I get written by. If I turn caps lock on, all right, and then I maybe just type out a name, so we'll say Art Belzani, all of a sudden it starts to look like that movie setup. So you don't have to scale the font. That was the whole idea, is instead of having to do this by hand, you can do it really quickly. So I turn caps lock off, I double space, I hit T. There's my visual effects, caps lock on. Okay, turn the caps lock off, couple of spaces, U. Okay, caps lock's on. You get the idea? So this way you can build it to look like this. And I would recommend that, you set up the size. I would just copy this, and however the size it is that you're going to need it on your poster, you set it up, you paste it, you center it, and then you can begin to build with, looking at this as an example of how they kind of set it up. Okay, so rather than do it by hand, you're going to use that Steel Tongs font to create it. I tried to make that easy for you. Do not just copy and paste this in. Do not use a Photoshop piece. This has to be typed using the Steel Tongs font. Okay, that's the one reference that I need you to use. Okay, so all the stuff's listed here. This stuff is listed here. This is the basics. Everything else is going to come from you. All right, it's going to come from your head, your sort of idea of how you want to illustrate this thing out and what do you want it to look like. All right, and that's kind of where we're going to go from here. So if you have questions, you can email me. If you want me to look at what you've got, you can email me. Hopefully you're going to show me your sketches. You're going to show me your layouts. You're going to show me your comps. And then we can begin to build this up and kind of work this way. It is not ideal. It is not the way I want to do it. But right now, this is the only way we have to do it. So again, if you got any questions, my email's in Classroom. All right. Good luck, guys.